Welcome to this explainer on professional investigations. When most people think of a web search, they're really just picturing the very tip of an iceberg. But beneath the surface, there's this massive, intricate digital footprint just waiting to be uncovered. Today, we're diving into how professionals actually use open source intelligence, or OSINT, to map out that hidden data. And honestly, more importantly, we're going to look at how they document it, so the evidence becomes absolutely undeniable.
Okay, let's dive into this. Ask yourself, what does your digital footprint actually reveal? If a professional investigator or even a cyber threat actor turn their tools on you right now, what exactly would they find? It's kind of a crazy thought, right? But here's the thing. An investigation is literally only as strong as its documentation and the evidence backing it up. So today, we're going to learn exactly how that evidence is found, preserved, and analyzed securely. To do that, we're going to mirror the exact workflow used by digital analysts and journalists. First up, reconnaissance. Then, preserving digital evidence, followed by uncovering hidden metadata. Next, we'll hit documentation and reporting, and we'll wrap up with the ethics of investigation.
All right, let's jump straight into phase one, reconnaissance, mapping the attack surface. Now, what's really interesting here is that in the intelligence world, both malicious attackers and professional defenders start with a playbook. The MITRE ATT and CK framework is essentially this industry-standard dictionary of tactics. It breaks down specific reconnaissance methods used to hunt for target information. We're talking everything from active scanning of IP blocks to passive methods like quietly collecting info on network infrastructure or even just searching open websites. It's step one for pretty much everyone in the game.
Now, to actually pull off this reconnaissance, professionals rely on OSINT tools, which can honestly feel a bit overwhelming at first. But they basically fall into a few clear functional categories. You've got domain and IP lookups using tools like Shodan. Think of Shodan as a search engine for exposed, internet-connected devices rather than regular websites. Then you've got leaked credential databases, like Have I Been Pawned, which are great for checking if accounts have been compromised. Grouping these tools like this helps an investigator systematically map out a target's infrastructure entirely from the outside looking in.
Just take a look at how massive this framework actually is. It's essentially a giant branching tree of highly specialized tools built for very specific targets. But here is the secret to a professional workflow. An investigator almost never just relies on one tool. They integrate them iteratively. It's like a giant puzzle. One single piece of information, say an IP address, is used to enrich the next search, and that enriches the next, creating this compounding, incredibly detailed picture of the truth.
Moving on to step two. Preserving digital evidence, the archiving standard.
So simply finding the data? That's just not enough. Online evidence is incredibly volatile. A suspect can delete a post in a matter of seconds, right? This brings us to the standard archiving process created by top investigative groups like Bellingcat and the Syrian Archive. The flow goes collect, preserve, process, verify, and then investigate. Tracking violations by just copying and pasting standard web links is a totally flawed method because, content gets deleted. We absolutely need a secure, centralized space to permanently lock that content down. And this brilliantly illustrates why it's not just about hitting save on a file. It's about guaranteeing the integrity of the evidence. By using critical chain of custody components, like timestamping and cryptographic hashing. Actually, scratch that. Let me explain hashing real quick. Hashing is basically assigning a unique, completely unalterable digital fingerprint to a file. Anyway, using this exact workflow ensures that digital documentation remains totally untouched, meaning it will absolutely hold up in a court of law.
To put that into perspective, let's look at capturing a simple web page. A standard, run-of-the-mill screenshot? Nearly useless in a professional setting. Instead, professionals use forensically sound capture tools like Snagit or Greenshot. It is absolutely crucial to capture the entire web page, preserve the browser context, and log the exact metadata. By using a strict naming convention that captures the URL, the page title, the date, and the time, you create accurate, defensible evidence. No loopholes.
All right, step three, uncovering hidden metadata, the invisible layer.
Now that our evidence is safely preserved, we go deeper. See, a professional investigator doesn't just look at a digital photo or document. They look inside it. This is where we run into EXIF data. It's a standard specifying the format for hidden tags used by digital cameras, smartphones, and scanners. This invisible layer intersects heavily with digital forensics, allowing professionals to establish file integrity, verify authenticity, and figure out if an image has been purposely manipulated.
The insights this metadata provides are literally incredible. I mean, it can reveal the exact geolocation coordinates of where a photo was taken, track creation and modification timestamps, identify the specific source device, whether it was a camera or a mobile phone, and even log document author info. Investigators rely on terminal-based tools like XFTool to systematically extract all these hidden details before they even begin their analysis.
Check this out. Microsoft Word documents, for example, retain incredibly detailed metadata. Hidden right inside the file properties, you can clearly see the creator's name, the last person to modify it, and even the total edit time. Imagine discovering that a supposedly quick email attachment actually took dozens of hours to edit. That kind of finding can fundamentally change the entire trajectory of an investigation.
Let's move on and see how this all builds together in Phase 4, documentation and reporting, structuring the truth.
Okay, so you've gathered the data and you've extracted the metadata. Now you have to compile it into a professional report, and there is a stark difference between your raw notes and your final product. Your note-taking, often done in tools like Obsidian or Microsoft OneNote, is this raw, chronological, kind of messy reality that tracks every branching lead. But your final report, that must be strictly formal. You have to cleanly separate undeniable facts and observations from your own analytical judgments. Oh, and a huge warning here. Always strip your own author metadata from your digital reporting files before submitting them. You've got to protect your own operational security.
Following professional reporting standards means you need to articulate your initial investigative goals clearly, right up front. You have to contextualize how your intelligence was obtained and, this is key, include any exculpatory evidence. That means evidence that might prove innocence or contradict your theory. A professional report ultimately relies purely on facts, identifies limitations, and provides reproducible findings. Basically, another analyst should be able to follow your exact steps and reach the exact same conclusion. It proves a reasonable level of due diligence.
And that brings us to our final section, the ethics of investigation, protecting the truth. Because these collection and analysis tools are just so extraordinarily powerful, they absolutely must be governed by strict ethical and legal considerations. We have to adhere to the core ethical pillars of OSINT. This means operating with lawful compliance, ensuring non-discrimination, and protecting whistleblowers through the non-attribution of sensitive sources, meaning we never inadvertently expose who gave us the information. So the crucial point is this: sloppy casework or ethical breaches don't just ruin an investigation, they do a massive disservice to the public and severely erode trust in the entire intelligence process.
There's a quote that really hits the nail on the head. A big piece of protecting our tradecraft is showing that we wield our tools and talents with restraint and thoughtfulness. Ongoing professional development, meaning training in both privacy compliance and technical methodology, is an absolute professional responsibility. We owe it to the people we serve to be meticulous.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Now that you understand the rigorous professional workflow of collecting, preserving, and recording digital evidence, how will you wield these tools responsibly to bring the truth to light? Remember, the strength of your findings always comes back to your documentation. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into professional investigations. Keep learning, stay objective, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.